seems like every time I come to you all, I'm not really bringing good news. It's like for some odd reason, I can't sit there and give you good news because there's no good news to report. The Chicago Bulls have shown us exactly who they are, and they've shown us several things, not just who they are as a team, but collectively every individual in some way, shape, or form has kind of checked out, except for those who don't already have lucrative contracts. What I mean by that is you're going to get the hustle out of Alex Caruso. That, like I said in a previous video, he can't do that. But Zach LaVine coming back, he dropped 36, but again, getting that trade value up because, again, apparently the market for him was low. DeMar DeRozan to some degree, it's still DeMar to some degree. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie and make it seem as if DeMar's out there like being a totally scrub, but he ain't out there hooping. Like it ain't what it is. So ultimately, what's the point of this video? There is a continuity issue, and we bet on continuity. I'm not here to sit there and say AK needs to go. I'm not of the ilk to sit there and call for people's jobs every 5 seconds. I'm really not. No, I don't think they should sell the team. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I've said this in another video. If I was a owner of a sports team that sucked, but it is my namesake, it is literally how I've gotten I've built my fortune. Skip you, I'm not selling my team. Like, shut up. Like, shut that noise up. Anybody who thinks that that's the answer, shut up. That's not how this works. You're not selling $1 billion asset. I hate that narrative. It's stupid. Stop saying it. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't. Your mama wouldn't do it. So shut up acting like somebody else's family should do it. You're not going to do that. But what I will say is you do need to get better people to manage these particular people. And what I mean by that is this. I don't care what anyone says. I've been very, very keen on this. The problem is Billy Donovan. Billy came in and he came in with a better pedigree than the people we had before. He came in with more of a know-how. You actually felt good. It was a coach that you could recognize, someone you've seen around other stars, had some success and things of that nature. But this is just like the stock market. Previous performance is not indicative of future performances. Like you may not get the same return. Sometimes stuff don't work out. It ain't work out with Billy. Certain moves were made, and Billy has a philosophy that ultimately either he just didn't get the full locker room's attention, or mind you, it just didn't work out. And a lot of it has to do with you can't have continuity if you have a coach who doesn't bet on continuity himself. There have been so many different lineup changes, this, that, and the other, and some of it was out of necessity. I give you that. But I'll give you another case in point. Another coach that had to deal with a lot of continuity issues with his lineup because his players just weren't freaking available. Ty Lue, and he still was able to get a lot out of that team. Ty Lue had none of his stars at one point, and his team was still beating 500 plus 500 teams. Like, Ty Lue was showing you what a good coach is, right? Now, I'm not saying Billy Donovan is a bad coach. He just ain't Ty Lue. He ain't got it like that. He can't do that. So the point of this particular video is Billy Donovan has to go. I am so befuddled at this particular point as to why this person does this. Zach doesn't do this. No one's really looking at coaching and saying, hey, dog, nah. I'll give you another case in point. It took a veteran PG to come in and pretty much right the ship for this thing. I want y'all to understand why that is a negative for Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan didn't have the wherewithal to just put somebody in at the point guard position and give Zach the exact green light he needed before Pat Beverly came. Like, realistically, I want you all to understand. Pat Beverly came in and was like, no, sometimes coach, no, we got to do this. This is what they do and this, that, and the other. He was able to have that back and forth with Billy and make decisions on the floor that put the team in the best position to show some success. And then he leaned as a veteran on his horses or bulls, Zach, to get certain things done. Billy Donovan ain't had that since Lonzo Ball, and then at that time, and even since then, he ain't had it since Patrick Beverly. That's not necessarily a talent issue, though, because Patrick Beverly and Lonzo Ball are two totally different stratospheres of talent. It's kind of like a vet thing. Like, Billy Donovan didn't put his people in the best position to be effective and do what they do. The one thing I will say is he put his younger players in the best position, in my opinion. But I don't think Billy Donovan has done Vooch a good service up until these last couple of games. Up until the season, I think Vooch was getting dealt a very, very bad deal because of how he's being utilized. And he was one of our most consistent players, if not our most consistent players. I mean, he's a walking double-double. Say what you want. But how do you have a walking double-double and you don't utilize him well? Like, Vooch was sitting there getting scraps. Now, some people sit there and argue, well, Vooch was taking a lot of shots. Yeah, Vooch was taking a lot of threes. Vooch is a post player. Vooch is a big man who can shoot, not a shooting big man. It's a big difference. But we weren't utilizing him like that. We were putting that man on the block like he had the cannon. We putting him out there like he was sitting there just 40% from three. Like, no, dog, that's not how that work. But that's exactly what you were getting. And I know this seems like some run on rant, but it's just like you have to look at the games. You have to look at the sets. You have to look at what's happening. And then you have to realize, hey, man, a lot of it is on the players. I'm not going to take that away. The players still have to play. But a lot of it is also how they're being positioned. How you're being set up to actually execute or do the things you want to do. That's what I also look at. And sometimes I sit there and I'm like, hey, dog, what are you doing? And when you have that consistently, the only consistent thing about Billy Donovan is I know he's going to consistently give me a moment where I say, dog, what the heck are you seeing? That's the only constant thing about Billy Donovan. Dog, it's time. So here's the thing. At this point, it's not a salvageable situation. Zach is out of here, which is for two reasons why that bothers me. Zach has always said that he wore number 8 for Kobe. He wanted to be that 2 guard in Chicago to bring it back. Like, I wanted him to have a fair shot at that. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't feel like he had a fair shot. Now, he ain't a Michael Jordan talent. Right? Michael Jordan is the GOAT. There's not going to be another Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan was physically and skill-wise, just like even today, he would still be the GOAT. I don't know why people keep debating that. Like, he would still be the GOAT. Like, he still physically, he still has one of the highest. Anyway, that's a different thing. But but Michael Jordan had a couple coaches who literally put the ball in his hands and had plays. What's the play? Get out the way. Give him the ball and go. I oftentimes feel like Zach was never really given that opportunity where they trusted him to just be the guy and allow him to grow within being the guy. And I blame partly, a lot of that has to do with Fred Hoiberg, all that people. We saw what that situation was, but Billy Donovan's done it several times too. Like, you want him to be the guy, you pay him to be the guy, give him the rock, let him be the guy, and live with what comes with it. Because that's the only way that happens. The only way that you now get the reputation of being the guy is when you start taking the guy shots, and you make some, you miss some, then you miss some, you go back, you go. But you have the opportunity, it's a buildup. Like, not everybody comes out the gate smacking these game winners and stuff like that. It don't happen that way. By the way, Zach has had some pretty clutch threes. But at the end of the day, it don't always happen like that. Now, I know DeMar DeRozan, all that stuff. People, I'll be honest with you, I promise you, I don't think they expected DeMar DeRozan to be this DeMar DeRozan. Which was a good thing. It's a swing and a miss. But Billy Donovan also didn't coach to that as well either. DeMar was just like, hey, clear out. He a vet. He can do that. Y'all don't believe me? There's several games in which you can tell that the play was not for DeMar to do what he was doing late game, and he did it anyway. Why? I'm a vet. I'm 15. I'm like, what, 12, 15 years in? Not finna tell me. Give me this. I'm on this block. Clear out. It's documented. This is what I do. Clear out. Watch out. Like, vets do that all the time. That's part of the game. Billy don't know how to handle that, in my opinion. And so I say all this to say, The real issue is, and the real fumble here, is that Billy Donovan has not managed this well. He has not managed this talent, the talent we have. We're sitting there saying that this is the worst Bulls. This is worse than the Fred Hoiberg. I can't even say that man's name. That's how trash he was. Like, we're saying it's worse than that Bulls team. Do y'all know how crazy that is? We're talking about a team that had Cristiano Felicio. We're saying our team now is worse than that team. We had Wendell Carter Jr. as our starting big. I don't even think he play no more. That's probably cap. But man, I don't know what he doing down there. People, but stupid fans would say, "Well, he's better than Vooch." Shut your stupid man. Y'all make me sick. I'm telling y'all right now. Ultimately, this is the thing. We fumbled this on so many levels that it's not even beyond the realm of, like, it's not even crazy for me to say the head coach, the assistant coaches, the trainers, several of your players, they got to go. You need somebody that's going to come in and clean house, because you can't, if you ever wanted to stifle greatness, bombard them with mediocrity. Put them in a room full of lazy people and then watch. Eventually, the laziness will rub off. There is something wrong within the culture of the Chicago Bulls. And until you figure that out, until you can pinpoint it, the best thing for you to do is cut bait now. Hey, get that out the way. We got to roll, because at this point, it's not a salvageable situation. And I think it really does start at Billy Donovan, who doesn't get enough heat, who doesn't get enough. Like, we give them all these excuses because we want to blame the players and how much they're getting paid, stuff like that. No, this their job. They got paid what they're getting paid because it's their job. But we've all seen good people at work be managed by bad bosses and stuff like that, and the work just get completely messed up. Basketball ain't no different. You still got talent on that court that could do a whole lot more. But if they're not being managed right, guess what? It's going to be a poor product on the court. And that's what you're seeing. It's the same concept, just a different work, just different type of work. But the same concept applies across the board. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, put it in the comments, man. This is ultimately just a continuous rant over this Thanksgiving holiday weekend, because I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe some of the narratives that are being had about Zach LaVine, about DeMar, about stuff like, it's like, y'all really just don't watch these games. Y'all just talk to be talking. Y'all get in front of these cameras. Y'all just say whatever y'all want to say, and you sound stupid. Watch the games. Actually have an informed thing. A lot of this stuff is just mismanagement from a high level, and it's like, y'all can't just keep. Don't just be overly emotional. Just be like, nah, be emotional. I don't know, dog. We'll see that, man. But again, if you all are rocking with us, you will see me, you will see Pat, you will see the Breeze Nation, you see Joe, super producer Joe Holt, Stefan Ladon. You'll see us all this Monday. We want y'all to come rock with us. All the details will be out there. Man, it's free. Just come in, come kick it with us. Come watch this watch party as we see Justin Fields in the mall. I know there's a Bulls video, but I want to get that promo out there in case you made it this far. But again, all those details will be posted online. Till next time. Peace.